good technique, he will be elite. If his technique becomes great, not just good, then he's a Hall of Famer.
Going down again. Left cue. Red Williams.
Fighting through contact, fighting through offensive line, being a double team, multiple moves stacked into one, just a play of pure domination. This is actual film. This is actual football talk. It's a football show. We're supposed to talk football, not storylines.
And you are watching or listening to another edition of Blitz. Got to change up the intro. I noticed that we have some players in there featured who may have reduced roles, might be off the team. You know, guys like Mims. I think there's a little like 2-second clip of Crowder juking out the camera, and he's most likely going to be gone if I had to guess. So I got to change it up a little bit in a couple of months. But today, as you know, no surprise to you, based on the headline of whatever you're watching, whether it be the short YouTube thing, which I don't think you get the intro for. But nonetheless, Ahmad Gardner, Sauce Gardner, Cincinnati corner, 6'2", 190. I watched UCF, Houston, and Alabama. I'll give the list of strengths and weaknesses, as you guys know. And as you guys also know, like I said before, the list of strengths and weaknesses I have now they're a little bit sloppy because I just got done with them literally last night. And I do my strengths and weaknesses here. And then in the article form, which hopefully you read or at least you clicked on, and that one, it's a little bit more condensed and cleaner, where I don't repeat things. I kind of will merge two strengths into one if they're kind of a similar thing and just clean it up a little bit. So make sure you go check that out. I'll read that at the end of the show. I think I have 28 plays of Sauce. I just started watching Jermaine Johnson too, which I'll give a review about. And then after that, I'm going to ask you guys on the stream tomorrow night, which for you guys is probably a couple of weeks ago. I have a couple of guys left. I have today is February 9th. So I have about a month left of watching prospects. And that means I could probably finish a good amount of these guys. And the guys I have that I would like to at least look at is Linderbaum, Hutchinson, Burks, Lloyd, Wilson, Dean, London. Don't know if I can finish all 7 in 4 or 5 weeks, but I will try to get at least 3 or 4 of them done. I think at the minimum I'll get 3 done. So maybe Linderbaum, Hutchinson, and Burks or Lloyd, or I don't know. We'll figure it out. So getting into Sauce Gardner, again, I'm going to organize my screen for just a second here. Now we're looking at more of options that honestly, it could be 4 because you looked at Karlaftis last time, right? Last show. And assuming for me personally that the worst case scenario happens and, there is no trade ups, Hamilton's not taken, no quarterback is taken. And the first 3 picks consist of Thibodeau, Hutchinson, and Aquanu. I'm not a Neal guy at 4. I'm just not. You guys probably watched the review already. I'm just not. I think he's the 4th best tackle, 5th best tackle in the tackle we took Mekhi Becton. So I don't really think he's worth that high of a pick. So past that, it's like Karlaftis, Hamilton, Gardner. To be honest, before I even do this, before I even put the work in to show you guys what I think about Gardner, I think he'd probably be the best pick at 4 past those guys. And people think I'm crazy. That's fine. I know Daniel Jeremiah just came out and had Sauce Gardner at like 5. So I guess I tend to see pretty eye to eye with him, at least on him and some other guys. But I think Sauce is the next best player, but does solid value the corner that much, which again I think is a little bit overstated in terms of how much he devalues corner. I don't think you'd ask him, and he would tell you, oh well, no, corner doesn't matter. I think it's the fact that D-line matters, but it doesn't mean corner doesn't matter a lot too. And if you have the best player on the board is a corner, take a corner. We don't have to reach for something else. So let's see some of the film here and just again organize a little bit my screen. All right. Sauce, press and squeeze to the top right here. The first thing that I will note with his film is while he does get low pre-snap, and typically he does a good job like this is recorded like half a second too late because the ball's already snapped. But while he does bend, I do want to see a little bit less waistband, a little more knee bend from him in general. He's a little bit taller, so it's a little bit harder. But that's one note. And the one thing I do notice with him in general, hold on, actually. He has his eyes on the hips. Typically, his eyes don't really rise a lot, especially pre-snap. His eyes are pretty disciplined to the hips. Again, hips don't lie; the head does, and he's pretty good with that. So that, in terms of his stance too, I want to see him a little bit more wide. And this is again just little tiny things he can fix up, and I'm sure the Jets DB coach Tony Oden will with him. But when you have more knee bend, obviously you're more balanced. And when your feet are wider, you don't have the tendency to fall back or jump split, because when your feet are that narrow, you just naturally want to get on balance. So just a little side note, just right off the bat. But in terms of the press rep, obviously very good there. We can watch again. So we have a little bit of a false step. The one thing I will say that's working for him at college, the college level, that might not in the NFL. There are a little bit too many times where he's kind of falling back, sitting back, and shooting two hands. Again, if you're going to be aggressive, be aggressive. I don't necessarily love guys who sit back and shoot two, because you're locking and you're not taking that chance to really close that ground quickly. So if you're going to be aggressive, again, shoot it, replace. Don't leave them out there. But when you're like this, if a guy defeats you at the NFL level, it's going to be hard for you to flip and run with them, because you're kind of you're locked out at this point. So he lands it. Good strike timing. Good aggressiveness. I'm cool with it. Again, little bit of like a we call it a false / kick step. Both feet move a little bit right here. So let's be generous and call it a kick step. So kick step, 2-hand punch, doesn't leave it out there for too long. He doesn't reach for contact there. That's good. And then while he's starting to turn and run in phase with the receiver, he gets his hands on, gets the right hand on to run with him. And as soon as he can confirm that he can get over the top, or really, partially over the top, and squeeze it to the sideline. So really good rep right here from Sauce. Bang, get over the top, don't reach, squeeze him to that sideline. Next. All right. Top of the screen again. Love his energy too. He definitely barks at guys, definitely high energy, willing to tackle. We'll talk about some of his tackling in a little bit, but again, I'm going to do a better job, hopefully, of letting it play one time or two times and then talking about it a little bit. But you can see him pre-snap. Again, eyes are low. Good. You don't want your eyes high. That's the first indicator. Again, he's low before the snap. Again, little bit of a jump split. It's not drastic. It's not terrible. But when you jump split like that, you're leaning. So he's leaning. But he does get a shuffle in. So I like the shuffle. We talk about shuffles all the time, staying square. And when guys shuffle, stay square, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. That's the first thing I look for. If you're going to open your hips up all the time, I don't like it. So a little bit of a jump split, reaching. But again, you can see the length, 6'2", moves well. That little like offhand jam, boom, get the hand in there. And he's over the route. Why? Because he stayed square, he gets a shuffling. Now you see guys who, at this point, a little bit of a jump split false step. They open up. This receiver works into them on the stem, breaks inside. But when you get shuffles in, you stay over the top. That's why we talk about it so much. So he's able to stay over the top with a shuffle, get the jam in to that near pec, and just stay over top of the route. Some people think he's a little handsy. At times he's a little bit handsy, but I think maybe some people saying he's too handsy is him just playing good coverage. You can't just let guys run free all the time. Got to get your freaking hands on to guard receivers. So hell of a job staying square, hell of a job getting a shuffle in, hell of a job keeping his eyes low, being patient. Again, watch the jump split a little bit. But this is a really, really good rep from him. Yeah, obviously it completely mirrors that route. And then you like the excitement after, jumping up and down and pumping up his team and stuff like that. I would like that juice in that secondary, because they really don't have that for anybody. Even May, he was a decent player. He's not really like he's not really like a juicy player, you know. Neither is Ashton Davis. Neither is anybody in the secondary, really. Well, Eccles is. I would say Eccles is kind of, he has that a little bit, but when it's coming from a potential number one guy, a little bit different. So top of the screen right here, he's going to be playing in a curl to flat of whether it be 3 cloud or 2 or whatever this is going to be. 2. The one thing I will say with him, here he does a good job rerouting. So with him in zone coverage, he played a lot of man. There are times where he lets guys get into his blind spot in like cover 3, but he is super aware of like route concepts for the most part. And in cover 2, there are times where he doesn't widen; he doesn't get a reroute. He lets guys kind of just work right by him. If they widen their stem to get around him, he doesn't really reroute them to assist his deep half safety. So I would like to see that change up a little bit in this game. But in general, zone, man, it does not matter. He is comfortable in both, and very much so. So he's a cloud here, so he's not going to follow this guy inside. He has a hook to curl right here, so he's not going to chase that guy inside. He's going to try to reroute anything in that curl to flat, and he does exactly that. He obviously matches that. So reads it, shuffle in, square, shuffle, square, hands on. Again, watch shooting 2 while you're kind of falling out like this. I would like to see it maybe outside hand there and kind of ride it, but with the 2, you're if this guy were to like a squirt release, like 3-step release, 1, 2, 3 outside, and you kind of lean like this, even though he commits like as he's like kind of almost through his 4th step, but still, got to watch the 2 hands. But with that being said, still gets 2 hands on with after the shuffle, play in phase with the receiver. Receiver breaks, he drops his hips, works back off like that instep, T-step. And it's not really a T-step. T-step's when you're backpedaling, but he works off the instep, matches it. Like, again, for his size, he moves very well. Like, you gotta understand, he's not 5'11". He's not 6 foot. He's not 6'1". He's 6'2". And like, just watch it. You can see, and you will see better in a little bit in the future. But like, his fluidity for that size is good. Okay, so now after he does that, he's in zone coverage. Let's look back. Let's see what's happening. I'll over top my guy, get his eyes back to the quarterback, get his eyes back on what's happening. And obviously, you have the running back, receiver, whoever, sit it down right there, and he comes in and makes a play on it. So good job. Okay. Sorry, my screen was not minimized was not organized as well as I wanted to be. Okay, run game top of the screen right here. Yeah, very willing in the run game. That is for sure. They run some type of counter. It looks like GT counter. Again, in terms of being like a force player, setting that edge, he's good. Okay, so it's GT counter. So up top, doesn't want to let anybody get outside of him. Obviously, doesn't want to dive inside. He's at last line of defense, kind of outside. Wants to force a cut back in, and you're going to see him obviously in this next view over the top. He kind of pinches down a little bit, gets hands on the tight end, good extension, hands inside, shuffles to get outside. Doesn't let himself get driven vertically. Doesn't let himself kind of get washed inside. Hands on, look back at the running back, and either get the tackle or force him back inside. Shed the block, work off of it, get outside. Now, the thing with his tackling is sometimes he kind of does go into tackles high and tends to just duck his head and kind of wrap guys up. There are a few good tackles, but obviously, you want to see him scoop, you want to see him cross his helmet, whatever your preferred method is. But there is times like in college, he's bringing guys down. Sometimes in the NFL, he might get trucked over if he's trying to just duck his head like this by NFL running backs. But nonetheless, we see him, being disciplined in terms of his leverage, shedding blocks, be willing, driving him out of bounds. Like he's not just a one-trick pony, so he's definitely willing to do that, which is obviously nice. Effort. Oh, okay. He's on the top of the screen right here, right? I think. And they're winning. And I understand at this point too, something like a little side note, they're winning 35-0. So is effort the same as if you're up, as if it's a 35-35 game? as if you're either up 35-0 or down 35-0. I think that's, effort in this situation from either player on either team is a little bit more exemplified or a little bit more meaningful. Is maybe what I should say. So top of the screen right here, we're gonna watch a play, note the effort, and then we'll talk about some of the other stuff. Hopefully you still have your eyes on them. Obviously, we see the speed too. So they run some type of end around, fake inside zone, split, end around. Yeah. Okay. And obviously the split goes like the arc block. And you could argue, okay, here for Sauce, he wants to maintain outside leverage and force it back inside. Do we want him to maybe not eat up as much ground and be able to play the inside too? Okay, sure. You don't want to play outside so heavy, because if he does cut outside here and you're a little bit more high, you still have room to go outside, but you also want to, if he is to cut inside of this block, okay, you want to be able to play that too. So he takes himself a little bit out of the play here, just a little bit. Okay, I get that. That's something you want to know. Took himself out of the play. Again, don't push upfield so hard here. Is what it is, but he goes to almost make the tackle, and I don't know if he would have if this guy didn't hit him. I don't think so. He looks like he's going to fall anyway, or maybe he pulled back last second because he saw he was going to get hit. But nonetheless, at this point right here, the effort is something to note, obviously, and the speed he has in the open field. Like, he is a fast MFer, so that's great. It's a positive play for me, even though, again, run game could have cleaned up maybe a little bit there, but still. Sauce effort again. Okay. Right here, again, a little bit more waist than legs than I want, but still eyes are inside, but they're going to be low. His eyes are typical. Oh, now they're inside. No, now they're low. Effort. Okay. I just mislabeled that play. He's just playing a vertical route. So I don't know why I put that as effort. But again, now we're seeing a better bait. Like now, okay. So now, yes, we have a little bit less knee than we want, but his feet are wider now. So I like that. Minus the other, remember the other plays where he's a little bit more shallow. And does he take as big of a fall step here? Okay, no, kick step. Kick step again. There's and depends on which way you want to look at this. But like I said before, those kick steps, like your body, when that guy is moving, your body wants to move. And good coaches will teach a kick step, which is just it's either lateral a little bit forward. And that's eliminating your false step where you're going to lean back on your kind of into your ass, So good coaches will teach you kick step, and it's if you stay with good leverage over your toes and you're kick stepping, I'll call it a kick step. If you're false stepping and you're starting to go back, I'm going to call it a false step. But obviously, I would like to be, I love to be in the room and see what they're teaching them. But kick step, okay, still mostly over his toes, patient, soft shoe, gets hands on. Cool. Like, again, you could aggressively shoot with one, step back, reassess. You can one, ride that one hand as long as you're balanced. You could do two-handed punch aggressively. I don't like two, soft shoe two. You could obviously get shuffles in, get hands on. You could back up a little bit, stay square, then get hands on. Like he's up on the line of scrimmage and soft shoes him. Again, doesn't have to be aggressive press. As long as you're getting hands on at some point, I'm cool with it. So again, kick step, eyes low, patient, doesn't fall, doesn't, the release is whatever it is. I'm not gonna get into that right now, but a little bit of the head stab inside, doesn't fall for it. Again, eyes are low, opens up with him, gets hands on. Okay, I'm cool with that. Like, I just hate when guys don't get hands-on. Patience. Open. And again, he doesn't open it at such an angle where he's able, like he's allowing him to run cleanly in his stem. He opens, but he's angling off still towards the sideline. See how he opens but cuts it off? He's not just opening completely vertically. So he's not letting him really get into his stem. Gets hands-on. Rides it out, hand fights. Keeps contact the entire time. Hands on, guy wipes it, fights to get hands on. Now his hands are on enough where he can look back for the ball. Okay, see if the ball is coming, make a play on the ball. Nope, it's not. Okay. Hands on. Because a lot of guys, they get lazy. and the ball isn't coming my way. He's not looking my way. Oh, okay. The hand leaves him. And then guess what happens? Oh shit, scramble drill. Now I lost my guy. Now I have to find him. Now I have to panic. Where you have hands on and you're not lazy about it. Now if he starts to move, herky jerky, you can feel, oh shit, scramble drill's probably coming. Now you should probably match him. So I love that he's not lazy. That's good. Okay, sorry. Next play. Sauce tackle. All right. One right here. He's number one on the bottom. Okay, now he's bailing. Again, it's not about the coverage, but you see some of the power. Like and his body, like he's not like he is pretty skinny. Like let's be real, like he is 6'2", 190. He's pretty thin. Like you could see just his build. He's a pretty skinny guy. He's not like Bryce Hall, who's a little bit thicker of a corner. But he bails. Obviously, whatever the run is. Again, trickery, end around. Okay, cool. He bails, sees the run is coming. You see him get it into his zone, play past the run, see that the run is coming, call up the field, outside, in. Now this time doesn't get too shallow and try to dive back inside. Now he's playing it with proper leverage in terms, or proper like vertical leverage, I guess. Shuffle, square, play both ways. Once the running back commits, he steps inside. Again, this in the NFL might get you absolutely lit up. Again, want to see him lower, want to see him crossing his helmet, want to see him scooping, whatever it is, going high versus an NFL running back is not the best idea. So, yes, he's able to make this tackle at this level, drives his feet, getting the power to be flat-footed and take the guy head on. Great. NFL, got to clean up the tackling for him a little bit because he will get trucked here. But still, good job. Like, look, like you have corners who are not going to tackle like that. That's a good job. Sauce beat for first, break eyes. Okay, he's right here. They're running almost like a widened trips. Or it's trips, it's just like widened, a little bit wider splits. And it's 3rd and 4. The thing with him here is I'm okay with him playing. So again, you can't play everybody at the same level. So you can't say, we'll just press him here, because if they press him, you're really risking yourself in terms of picks, rubs, things like that. So him playing off, okay, that's fine. Playing off, next good thing about it is if you're playing off like this, the short yardage situation, you got to be really patient with your feet, because most likely he's going to break at the sticks or a little bit past the sticks, and he does. So you got to stay patient. The one thing that I will say, okay, so there's two. Let's watch and then see.